And in some ways, they've won that with ease. West Ham were really poor today, so that should bode well for the next week in terms of Liverpool going on to get those maximum points. And if they do, the picture looks completely different, and everyone will say, what was the problem? You know, they're in the Champions League positions and a lot to fight for in the second half of the season.
So a clean sheet for them today, and that's been difficult to come by recently. Mo Salah was left on the bench. Florian Wirtz started, and even at half-time, after we'd watched the first half, you were saying it's his best game for Liverpool in the Premier League.
Without a doubt. And I'm just going to look at some of the 3 or 4 clips. And we highlighted this on Monday Night Football early in the season. Now, what is the position he likes to pick the ball up in? And that position is there. Now, it's not just between the lines. It's in the inside left position. That's, as I said, where he was at his absolute best playing for Bayer Leverkusen. And he's in that position. And what's interesting, you think the setup, you mentioned that there was no Mo Salah today. But Szoboszlai, you said, played on the right wing. But we know he likes to play in the inside right position as well. So he's in that position, and it's actually Joe Gomez providing the width on that right side. So that gets Szoboszlai in his best position and Florian Wirtz in his best position. But let's just look at Wirtz. Just keep an eye on him and watch how often he's scanning. Look, one look over his shoulder. If you want to be a top player between the lines, scanning is massively important. 3 times he's looked over his shoulder now. Still hasn't received the ball. Again, as another little look. So 4 times we're there, and he now gets the ball in the position where he's at his absolute best for Bayer Leverkusen in the past and for Germany. Where is he now? So he's deep. Liverpool are defending, and we just pick him up here. Coming back, doing his defences. But what he did brilliantly today, even in his own half, he was brilliant in terms of retaining possession. So a really clever ball, 1-2, and then he bursts forward. Gets ahead of the West Ham defender, and then we're back playing again. Now, where does he want to be? Again, he scans before you know it, and then he is here, between the lines. OK? So he's not on the left. This time he finds himself on the right, but he's in that position now. Again, looks over his shoulder. Then he's got a pass to pull off. We've just seen him with the left foot on one side. This time, very unlucky again. Great pass into Gakpo, just gets cut out. Now, he gets a little bit of luck here because he loses the ball, as he has done quite a few times in the Premier League. But because Liverpool regain it and win it back quickly, because the midfield players are on the second ball, it sustains the attack. And where do we find him? Again, in that position, in this inside left position. So he picks the ball now up on this side, goes past the player, and can he deliver the pass? Yes, he can, into Gakpo, and maybe doesn't quite sort his feet out. We mentioned at the first clip that setup of Liverpool. Again, finds himself the inside left. Should he score? Yes, he should. Could he have got an assist today? Of course he could. But that was, for me, maybe the start, maybe some signs going forward that Liverpool know they've got a good player. It's just whether he can transfer what he did in Germany to the Premier League. I think that was the first sign of seeing not just a player, let's not forget, just a player for Liverpool. I said when Florian Wirtz came in, I almost seen him as a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne in terms of the Premier League. You know, getting on the ball, causing problems for the opposition. You'd actually look at his passes here against West Ham. Didn't lose possession, often very clever with the ball, but he had penetrating passes, 42 out of 45. Now that's a lot for a player who's supposed to sort of make big passes, key passes to try and put people in. So at times you take chances. But when you look at his season comparison here, you can see the big shift there in the numbers.
If you go back to the previous graphic and the passes, what comes across, and actually what comes across from your analysis there is he's got a freedom, hasn't he, today? You know, they are all over the pitch passes within reason. The clips you highlighted, yeah, he may have been a bit deeper and starting from deep, drifted over to the left. There was a bit more of a freedom for him today. Would that be fair?
Yeah, but I think it's more about getting him in his role where he's best suited. Now, we can talk about the knock-on effects with other players there, because I don't think when you think about the makeup of the squad, it's probably not really that well balanced. But we've spoken about Florian Wirtz being a number 10, but predominantly he likes the inside left channel. I mentioned Kevin De Bruyne before. When you think of Kevin De Bruyne, where do you think of him? you think of the inside right
Yeah,
position.
yeah.
You always picture him on the ball in that position. That's where Florian Wirtz needs to play. At times, I actually thought he was going to play wide right today and then come in from the side, as he has done in a few games when he's replaced Mo Salah on that right. But this was better. This is exactly where they want him on the pitch, and this is where, as I said, he's at his best, and that's why today was his best Liverpool performance by far. He's had other good performances, but mainly in Europe. In the Premier League, that was the best we've seen so far.
And it was also a good day for Alexander Isak in the sense that he got his Premier League account up and running for Liverpool.
Yeah. And what we're looking at here is, if we can get it up.
I would argue that Florian Wirtz was more consistent than the touchscreen, really.
Exactly.
Today. Let's see if it works here.
So, what I would say is what's happened here has never happened before under Arne Slot when he's Liverpool manager. I don't think Arne Slot has ever asked his right back to go to left wing to take a long throw.
Have you become a bigger fan of long throws today? I
mean, throughout this season, I've been very unhappy with long throws. Today, I've changed my tune a little bit. But we've seen this a lot. And again, I think what it shows is, even for a team like Liverpool, who are the champions, when you see everybody else doing something, you think, well, why aren't we doing it? Arne Slot's never done that before. But maybe the way the Premier League's gone, he's thought, well, OK, everyone else is doing it, I'm going to do it. Now, I just want to look at the position initially of Isak. So he's there, he's in there, not up against defenders, don't forget. So Liverpool have brought the centre-backs up. So they're getting looked after by the West Ham defenders. Let's not forget as well that every West Ham player is back in the box.
Yeah.
This is something to remember as well. So Isak's the defender, he's almost free, he's not going to go for the first ball. He then turns, they clear it out West Ham, and it comes to the edge of the box.
So it comes to Wirtz.
Yeah, it comes to Wirtz, who does really well. There. But I just want to slow it down now. And as this ball comes into Isak, as he's about to get something on it, and we've just mentioned that every West Ham player is back. I think Nuno, looking back at this goal and considering I've got all 11 men basically back in the box beside Bowen on the edge. If you'd have said to him, the space in there for Alexander Isak would be like that. Let's just forget this, honest to God.
There was meant to be a square there, so I get that, right.
Yeah. So to allow that much space when you've got 11 men back behind the ball, he'll be really upset with that, of course. But again, we go back to Wirtz here, manipulating the ball, finds a clever pass into Gakpo. Gakpo, to be fair, his pass is just putting it into an...
Hopeful.
Yes, but finish from Isak is top draw in terms of the actual connection with the ball, and that's the only place he could find that bottom corner.
So it's all positive, isn't it? And they go and play Liverpool. Liverpool play Sunderland on Wednesday. They go to Leeds on Saturday. But even pre-match, with leaving Salah on the bench, the questions are to Slot. Who are you leaving? Why are you leaving them out? And because of the nature of this squad, those questions are going to be consistently asked, aren't they?
Yeah. Now, the makeup of the squad is not right, really. And the best way to explain that is we're all delighted tonight from a Liverpool point of view in that, OK, Florian Wirtz looks like the Florian Wirtz we expect. OK, he's cost a lot of money. He looks the real deal. He's in his position now. Isak's got his first goal. OK, that's Isak up and running now. But you think of the knock-on effect of that. How does Florian Wirtz affect Dominic Szoboszlai, who's been Liverpool's best player this season?
Because at times he was pushed out.
Exactly. And then you've got the situation where Isak scored, he's up and running. But how does that affect Ekitike, who's been Liverpool's best signing this season? So again, you go back to the makeup of the squad. And Liverpool, by leaving out Mo Salah today, didn't really necessarily play with a real right winger. Now, again, that's fine. Liverpool did really well. You get Szoboszlai inside. But it's not perfect for Joe Gomez going forward. Do you understand? So there's a knock-on effect with certain players playing well and what it does to other people. But right now, that'll be the last thing on the manager's mind. He'll just be relieved that he's got 3 points. And Liverpool in a really good position now to go on and get 9 points out of 9 this week.
Right. should we turn this on and turn it off again?
Yeah, we'll have a go.
This break?
Just turn it. You know what we do at home with the Sky?
Yeah.
Just turn it off at the back and turn it back on. It always works.
Right, I'll try and find it.
Oh, well, congratulations on a great afternoon's work for you personally and the team. That must feel like a really big 3 points.
Yeah, for sure. We knew it was going to be difficult, to get back to winning ways after our recent form. So, of course, tough game, and happy that we win, first of all, and happy to be on the score sheet as well.
Yeah, take us through that first half. Was it a case of feeling your way through it, picking your moments, and really being patient for that opportunity when it would come?
Yeah, I think when you're going through like tough times as a team, it's about fighting your way through to a victory, which it was today. We had to. It was not always beautiful, but we knew we had to get a goal and then defend our goal with our lives, and I think the boys did really well.
Yeah, the goal came thanks to you. Does it feel like a weight off your shoulders, that first Premier League goal now?
Yeah, of course. I'm aware that it's been a long time coming, and I've been trying to get back to my best form, and I'm still on the way, but I'm happy to have that goal.
Is it something that has been weighing on you, and do you feel almost a release now that could be you up and running, that you have one on the board?
I think it's a mix. Of course, the most important, the best feeling today is that we win the game. That's the best way to get a good spirit within the group, and that's helpful for the individual as well. But yeah, of course, I'm a striker, so scoring goals will always help me.
How much belief do you think as a side then you can take from this, and what does it do for the direction of travel now for this team in a big week?
Yeah, I think we have to use this win in a good way, but also be humble, because we've had a tough time. So one win doesn't necessarily mean that we're back. We have to stay focused and keep working hard to keep this momentum.
All right, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Is that relief, pride? How do you sum up your emotions after that one?
No, to a certain extent, definitely a relief. If we've lost so many times, then winning is important. At least getting a result, and if you keep a clean sheet, you have a chance of a win. You have definitely a result, but because we scored two, we had a win.
What do you think was key, I suppose, particularly in that first half, where you look at some of the early goals that you've conceded recently? What perhaps made you more stable this afternoon?
That we hardly conceded a chance, and that one chance they had didn't go in. And I think that chance was just before the final whistle. And in the meantime, I think we were able to create our chances again, as we've done throughout the past few weeks as well. But we gave away in other games much more than we did today, and that was, of course, from our side much better.
And is that shape? Is it tactical? Is it belief? A mix of all three?
It helps if you don't go 1-0 down after 5 minutes, because then you have to chase the game and you are more open. And now we could control the game more, especially after going 1-0 up. The only moment when I saw when I saw my team had a bad run of results was, I think, the last 5 minutes when they went down to 10 men. I didn't saw a team. I saw a team that was surviving, but surviving in a good way, because they threw themselves in front of crosses, won their headers inside our box. But normally, if you're in a better run of form, the other team goes down to 10. You're able to outplay it a little bit better, but no time to criticize the game. I think we've played the game I wanted us to play. Hardly conceded anything and scoring 2 goals.
It's interesting what you say there. I did wonder the lack of celebrations maybe around the second goal as well. Was that reflective of a side that has been through a lot recently?
The lack of...
quite muted celebrations we noticed from yourself and from the team as well.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe they had to put a lot of effort in, or I don't know why it was. I think what I did saw was that it meant a lot to the players, and it meant a lot to our fans as well, because they had to travel a long way to come over here to support a team that's performing and having very poor results lately. But they were there for the team from start to finish, so that was, and I think they were, as we, very happy with the 2-0 when we scored that one.
Does it feel like a significant goal for Alexander Isak?
Yeah, I think it does, yeah. he was already twice or maybe 3 times quite close to scoring his first today, but also in other games, but definitely also today. And no, I don't think I was planning to give him many more minutes because I saw him standing with his hand on his knees 1 or 2 times just before he scored. But that's why I think it was important for him and for us as a team that he scored that goal today.
What does this result do then for the difficult period that you have been in and going forward in a busy week, which you can now try and build on?
Yeah, it's a first step, although we know on Wednesday we face Sunderland again. We are a very strong team, played yesterday. So it's a very busy schedule for everyone. Good team, but it's a good first step for us that at least we won the game and had a clean sheet, and that's, I think, the way to move forward. But no guarantees for Wednesday. I hope, just like the away fans, the home fans will be just as supportive for us from start to finish on Wednesday, which we can expect because they're always like this. And hopefully the players can bring in the same performance as today.
All right, thanks for your time today.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
For the club.
Yes, big moment for him. And he'd had a couple of chances first half. One he should have done better with a half chance. But there was a good save as well from a goalkeeper in there. But Wirtz is involved, he doesn't get the assist, but really clever pass on the edge of the box here into Gakpo, who, to be fair, probably just tries to find and put the ball into an area. But Isak does really well, finds space in the box. That is not easy, to find space in the box with so many numbers there. You see West Ham, I think they've probably got almost everybody back behind the ball. And we've just got Isak there circled, just drops off the defenders there. And it's a lovely cushion finish. It's just one of them as it just bounces just before him. He just gets a really good contact, Connor.
Yeah, the spin of the ball, the way he takes the spin of the ball into the goal. And we mentioned before, it was like a punch way in it. So as he punches the ball, the spin just takes it into the goal. And it's a brilliant finish, but I liked his movement before it. And I'm not a striker. But as a centre-back, looking at West Ham centre-back, you have to go back into the zone to then find your way and defend the box. So him pulling out just gives him that little bit of space that he had to obviously finish it into the goal.
Important for him.
Yeah, it is. And what hasn't helped him, really, is probably the form of Ekitike as well. He was almost supposed to be the backup striker. Isak's supposed to be the number one. That was the case today. But it'd be really interesting, putting in a couple of games again this week, what the manager does, because I don't really feel that Ekitike deserves to be on the bench, really. But when you've got 3 games in a week, you can justify that in some ways. But I think for him and Wirtz today, that was a big moment. His first Premier League goal. But Florian Wirtz coming in and putting in a performance where he looked head and shoulders above everybody else on the pitch. And when you pay that type of money for both of those players, that's what it should look like. So
we're definitely looking at him on extra time.
We will be. Let's look at the both of them.
Right. We'll look at both of them on there. Look, West Ham were down to 10, and there was still a little bit of a nervousness about Liverpool, you would say. West Ham had a couple of half chances, so it was important to close it out.
Oh, there was. But that comes with confidence, chappers. That comes with being on the run Liverpool have been on the run where they've conceded a few goals, and that's what comes. But they needed this goal. They needed it. We mentioned Cody Gakpo throughout the game, and we know him, and what we know of him is scoring goals. That's what he brings, that's what he does. And it's a great finish. Obviously, Joe Gomez puts it into the box, and it's just a little bit of a hopeful ball into the box, isn't it? First time, and it's a great touch from Gakpo. Mavropanos obviously misjudged it. Great touch and swivel and volley into the goal. It's a brilliant finish. And Liverpool needed that at that spell in the game because there was just a little bit of a nervous energy around the place at the moment.
Actually, it's fine margins, isn't it? Because if Mavropanos had got his head on that, all of a sudden there could have been a counter the other way. I know it's all ifs and buts.
Yeah, but it was interesting watching Liverpool at the end of the game. And you could see the nervousness in them because they haven't won for so long. It was a pressure game they had to get something from. And actually, in those last few minutes, West Ham were actually keeping the ball and playing, and they had a man less. And that just comes from a real fear. We've both been there as players, that real fear. We're thinking everyone's terrified to make a mistake. Everybody's terrified to get on the ball in case they lose it or step out of position. So I think confidence-wise, Connor's right. I think that'll do Liverpool the world of good going into the next couple of games again, which are 2 fixtures that they should win.
Good evening and welcome to Sport Lab. Liverpool have finally halted their alarming slide in form, producing a composed and convincing performance to claim a crucial Premier League win away at West Ham. It was a match played under a cloud of emotion at the London Stadium, following the announcement of the passing of Billy Bonds, one of West Ham's greatest ever captains and managers. But on the pitch, Arne Slot's side delivered the response their supporters have been desperate to see. The headlines belong to Alexander Isak. The striker, who arrived for a club record £125 million from Newcastle United, finally registered his first Premier League goal for Liverpool in what proved a breakthrough display. Arne Slot made a bold call before kick-off, leaving Mohamed Salah out of a league starting lineup for the first time since April 2024. It was a decision that paid off. Liverpool played with greater rhythm, fluidity and structure, with Florian Wirtz thriving in an advanced creative role behind the forwards. Liverpool controlled almost every phase of the contest while West Ham struggled to generate momentum in an atmosphere already weighted with emotion. The breakthrough came on the hour mark. Cody Gakpo, lively throughout, delivered a precise cross and Isak met it with a controlled half volley, guiding the ball home and finally lifting the pressure that had built around him since his move from Tyneside. West Ham's frustration grew and boiled over in the closing stages when Lucas Paqueta received 2 yellow cards in quick succession for dissent, leaving his teammates to finish the match a man down. Liverpool made sure of the result in stoppage time. After orchestrating much of the team's best attacking play, Gakpo found the net himself with a composed finish, sealing a result Liverpool fully deserved. The victory lifts Liverpool up to 8th in the table, just 3 points off the Champions League places, and offers a vital injection of confidence after a dire run of 9 defeats in their previous 12 matches. A much-needed victory for Arne Slot's Liverpool, built on discipline, control and a long-awaited goal from their record signing. As the Reds look to rebuild momentum, this win may mark the moment their season turns back in the right direction. For West Ham, it was a difficult afternoon on and off the pitch. That is all for now on Sport Lab. Stay with us for more reaction and analysis throughout the weekend.